Guys, Max0r's is back. It's like he never left, and things are going to continue to get weird as we break down part 2 of the incorrect summary of Metal Gear Rising. The ultimate meme. Let's get back into it.
Metal Gear Rising: Sons of Delivery and DiGiorno is my favorite political and economic simulator.
Wait. We gotta back this up. There's too much. I am purchasing new NFTs. My wife left me. Yeah, this looks like a man. Okay, Senator Armstrong definitely has some, like, newly single divorced dad vibes. He's still got a beer gut, but he's been clearly working out. He got some serious cosmetic surgery. But man, can't get contacts or a hair transplant. But maybe he's got it scheduled. Maybe this is the hair transplant. I don't know.
Well intended to teach the player the basics of price slashing and how to best divide the country as quickly as possible. The answer, of course, is manually. In this visually engaging stock market index, we play as Jack the Wood Chipper, a man, probably.
The irony, of course, that's actually his name.
On a quest to renew
he's Jack, and then his nickname is the Ripper. Get on my Metal Gear Solid lore level.
The job market one life at a time. So if you've seen part 1 of my philosophically charged video essay on the deep and interesting Metal Gear lore, which I totally understand, then welcome back. And if you're
come on, I think it's a law on YouTube that you have to make at least one long video essay on Metal Gear Solid lore. If you have any ideas for a topic for my lengthy video essay on Metal Gear Solid philosophy, hit me up in the comments below.
Viewing this series for the first time, well, that's technically okay. You're just gonna be more confused than an American at a salad bar.
Hey. Who do you think invented the Buffalo Ranch dressing? That's right, America. Lettuce is just a vehicle for ranch dressing. All right, and copyrighted music, baby. Sins of obesity. Guns of the Cypriots. Okay, there's some levels of irony here. The irony is, of course, that the Patriots, who he's referencing, Guns of the Patriots, the Patriots are, of course, a shadowy group of elite power brokers who truly control all of the political and economic direction of the world. The irony is, of course, Cypriots. There aren't actually that many Cypriots as a share of the global population, but strangely enough, Cyprus is home to countless corporations and corporate entities, especially European ones. And these are almost all shell corporations in order that are constructed to conceal the actual beneficial owner. Sometimes these shell corporations' beneficial owners are Russian oligarchs who should be sanctioned. Oftentimes, they are political figures who have an uncomfortable level of wealth, investment, or ownership in things that their electoral public may find corrupt. I guess is the word I want. And the point is, you can use these shell companies in small principalities that have very favorable laws in order to obscure your holding of these things. Oftentimes these are part of networks, so you will have have companies in other popular locations, such as Caribbean nations. Even Curacao is an option that's been coming up lately, right? Small nations that rely on these transaction costs and these favorable environments, making it really hard, because you have to think, if you are an FBI agent, right? Let's say you want to uncover who's the real owner of a couple $1 million of real estate. You think it may be someone who is sanctioned by the United States for war crimes, and you're the FBI. You can have the U.S. legal system get you information if you produce a warrant for it, and you produce a warrant. You say, I want to know the beneficial owner of this block of condos, and you get your warrant from your judge, and because you think it's this person, and the judge, and finally the bank goes, you're right, here it is. The beneficial owner is MGR LLC. And you go, great. Well, who is the beneficial owner of MGR LLC? The filing says, well, it's actually MRG Incorporated, a Bahamian company. And you go, great. So now you have to file a request to the U.S. Embassy, to their liaison officer who's going to work with the Bahamians to try to get the Bahmanian equivalent of a warrant, and you'll have to submit your paperwork, and hopefully the Bahmanians accept it. But if not, you may have to get new paperwork or file it appropriately. You may even have to go down there yourself to complete some of the administrative steps. And then finally, after months of work, the Bahmanians say, yes, we will happily give you the beneficial owner of MRG Incorporated. And it turns out it is GMR, a Cyprus Incorporated in Cyprus. So now you have to run the process again in Cyprus and again. And when you have dozens and dozens of layers, you can basically thwart oversight. You may never learn who the beneficial owner is, especially if you have to chase down 6 or 7 false leads before you get to a true one. So the irony is, of course, guns of the Cypriots. It may appear that the Cypriots are, in fact, who's stealing the guns.
Last time on Metal Gear Raisin, Guns of the Priests. But as for now, our protagonist, Raiden with Biden, is forced to argue with a decapitated head about memes. That's not made up. I know the rest is made up, but that's genuine.
Apple-bottom jeans, Raiden.
What?
Boots with the fur.
Fresh off his adventures to the Orange Dimension and the insides of a...
Yeah, it never gets old to be like, Mexico filtered through yellow. Actually, man, I don't know. Mexico's great, man. If you never visited Mexico City, it's worth it.
American police. It's up to our hero to avenge Obama's death through the slaughter of the unmelanated, learning the true meaning of based through many trials, tribulations, and his guest seat at the Joe Rogan podcast, finally finding himself at the entrance
Raiden would definitely end up on the Joe Rogan Experience after all this.
to Amazon warehouses with manageable stab wounds. Ugh, damn it, I need a token black person. What the fuck? Key and Peele, this blood loss has made me delirious. Tell me a story. There once was a silent... Holy shit. Raiden heads into the hotel lobby, hosted by Mr. Mosby.
Interesting. Gotta love the giant flex building. Though what's also interesting and a little sad is that Amazon... we joke about Amazon being a defense contractor, but they actually are. Amazon is pretty well established at this point as a, well, they've been in competition, I think, for a major defense IT contracts, and they've won several. Amazon is going to be probably in the next 10 years one of the largest defense contractors, not necessarily like Amazon branded robots launching cruise missiles, though that would be even more uncomfortable. But Amazon will, for example, be storing all the data from satellite intelligence that's collected. I don't know if that's true per se, but that's the sort of thing that Amazon Web Services is trying to get into. They may just be the server hosts for a whole bunch of secure intranet sites, that sort of thing.
After which, the game sends the ATF to stop me from freeing the Second Amendment. I am forced to take matters into my own hands. This was...
Gotta love the fact that in this game, in a major corporate building, they have a minigun. Guys, when you're trying to defend a site of any sort, you always have to ask yourself, what are the threats I'm facing and how can I respond to those threats? So by having a minigun, they presumably think that there will be some sort of vehicle-based threat.
Back when turret sections were the pinnacle of game design. Excuse me, fellas, I'm just heading to this normal-sized elevator. Raiden, I'm playing another gacha game, okay? Please destroy all records of my credit card debt before the police come. Welcome, one and all cost, to a classic stealth game named Metal Gear Solid 2. We're currently undergoing a secret mission to destroy Scandalous Snake. Raiden, we have to prevent Joe Biden's America. You have to stop.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
You're too late.
You actually will get demonetized, I think, even if you joke about it, but I'm not sure.
Corn Pop, I have already vocoded your voice to Gangster's Paradise. We use our back...
Yeah, I mean, okay. You guys are getting a hot take, even though you didn't ask for one. If 99% of information is exchanged via these social media websites, if 99% of the political information people get, then, and you can get those sites to agree on what is and isn't true and censor material accordingly, then you do have a problem, right? Now, do I have a problem with the specific censorship decisions YouTube has made? No. If I did, I wouldn't talk about it because I make money on YouTube. But as a principle, as a general principle, should these private social media companies Do they have so much power over the information that Americans get that they then use that information to inform their voting decisions? Do they have such a monopoly on it that they should be subject to some level of regulation about their content decisions? I think the answer is yes, actually.
Batman vision to carefully locate the bank records and also the rocket launcher. This puzzle is a great way to simulate the real office experience if you work for Blizzard. So after expunging the records of Overwatch 2, Raiden runs through fucking Black Friday. This makes Vietnam look like clown college. We even have a Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon is a spike-covered Metal Gear. I do appreciate the fact that even though Metal Gear is reasonably expected to fight a cyborg ninja, they're like, you know what will deter him? Homeless spikes. The spikes to stop the homeless from resting on its arms. Yeah, that'll do it.
His name is Josh.
As you can
Kind of crazy.
see, the situation has escalated.
I'm alive. I'm a Huey, and I'm coming.
Whoa. Amazon HQ. Okay. Yeah, this sounds about right.
What is up, gamers? Max0r here, and today we're gonna be entering the what the fuck? So it turns out that Bezos is a real big fan of Japanese culture, like a really big fan of Japanese culture, to the extent that he filled this building with ninjas.
No, that would not surprise me in the least. None of this would surprise me. I actually want to know, like, I would love to learn, though we can't because unlike regular people, the very wealthy have their data extremely protected. Their private lives are incredibly controlled. Their image, the information that gets out there about them, super controlled. So all this to say, I want to know, what's the most bananas spend that these people have made? Because I mean, imagine living in a world where $1 million is the equivalent of like $4. Like what you spend on like a bag of chips is, how you're like, I'm going to splurge a little bit and get the kettle cooked, right? That's how Bezos feels about buying a mansion. So like, what's their vanity purchase, right? Does he have an Asian themed meditation arena? Does Mark Zuckerberg have a giant movie theater that he can just rent out himself? Like, what is it? An on-call 24-hour massage therapist? I don't know, but I really want to. There's some crazy purchase that they have that is so shameful and so off-brand. Right? Maybe Jeff Bezos has just an anime figurine collection that just can't be beat.
Still use rockets. The decor is so goddamn oriental, it's killing dolphins. Raiden traverses the Hidden Leaf Village with the DK crew. And enters the first elevator built and designed with elephants in mind, or just your mom. On which we fight a gauntlet of enemies for several minutes as I reenact my trips to the Humane Society. You will never catch me, nor will you find the weapon. How tall is this fucking building? This is half of the level. So we get off of Mr. Bones' wild ride, which allows us to booze and cruise all the way to the moon, apparently. What is that music I hear?
1,000 stories? That's ridiculous. Space colony arc. Oh, okay. This is nothing that it can enter the Metal Gear Solid canon will surprise me, by the way.
Oh golly, oh Geo Gillibrand. I can't wait to see what the game has in store for me now after all those long combat arena. What? So I want everyone to meet my cool and original boss design named Mistral. This is essentially what the Patriots were doing the entire time. AI Dennis Prager was merely a distraction. These fuckers were synthesizing VTubers. So now we're forced to fight their robotic fleshlight and her huge testicles. This battle serves as
This is just so weird.
a great moment to see just how far you've come as a player, both in ability and tolerance for the best game mechanic. Don't worry though, I'm still very bad.
I just love how the combat, despite being a combat cyborg, they're still like stiletto heels.
Thank God that shit's over. Now we can move on. God damn it. Really bold move making me fight Monsoon again after 20 minutes. And yeah, that includes the pants attack. Fucking Skeletron Prime looking ass.
I guess you could say a good meme never dies, Jack.
God, please take me out of this hell.
This is like the American Psycho memes. Dude, they're still huge. It's a 20-year-old movie.
Hell, I've had enough memes today. Look, it's Shadow, and he's a nice cock. Pretend you didn't see anything today.
Well, if it ain't the feds.
Unhand these brains, Jeff. They're children.
And kids are cruel, Jack. They just lose touch with it at the ripe old age of 12.
Wait, what?
War crime this, can't eat the drywall that, microwave mice is wrong, they say.
What the fuck?
Not to worry. Kids love video games. That's why I got them all set up, spinning the wheel on my favorite gacha games.
Okay, I understand now. The Patriots' ultimate goal was to create play-to-earn games and then use AI to earn, increasing their wealth, slowly siphoning wealth to the global elite. It all makes sense. The AI research, the blockchain, it all comes together as a pretty unprofitable scheme.
How else is a man supposed to make his impact?
You refrigerated a preschool for fucking JPEGs.
You think I made the market for Ganyu, Jack? Like every casino's just a big old conspiracy? Bull!
Every casino literally is a conspiracy, guys. It pretends to pay you out money for games of chance, but in fact, everyone knows that casinos are actually giant scams. They extract money from you. The longer you play, the more money you lose. You go up, you go down, but because statistically over dozens and dozens of gameplays, the house will always have an edge. If a house didn't have an edge in a game, they would get rid of it.
Bullshit. Gambling's just a part of who we are. I just market it to sexy children.
Yep. Yeah. So if you pay money for a chance of something, you're getting screwed. That's it. The only exception where your payoff is unclear is in investments. But investments, it's important to note, if in the US, they are regulated by the SEC. So if the SEC doesn't regulate them, you can be medium certainty that it's some variant of a scam.
Besides, demand for my products is about to skyrocket, like the good old days after 9/11.
Wait a minute, 9/11 is bad.
Speak for yourself. Let's debate this on the roof. But I hope none of this is ever taken out of context. Looks like you're a gacha player at heart.
Is that because of my brain damage?
No, it's because you go after children, and there ain't enough room in this preschool for the two of us. Now activating hood deflectors.
Yep, no worries there. It's, frankly, if you quote Metal Gear Solid enough, you functionally have woman deflectors.
Like I said, kids are cruel, Jack, and I love minors.
Welcome to the Bastard, featuring his tax shield. This battle is comprised of two distinct phases, each one...
The tax shield. Gotta love it, man. Yeah, if you're ever curious to see what people's effective tax rate is compared to yours, it's an interesting exercise.
Easier than the last, and for some reason a helicopter, go-go gadget concealed carry. In his first phase, we simulate beating to death a cheeky goblin using money to compensate for his lack of human empathy, and by the second phase, it's quite obvious why he does it. This means it's up to us to cut each shield individually so we can play the game. And yes, you explode when you miss. Not only this, but his health is the length of a Cambodian life in 1977, meaning
what?
once you get past that, the fight is basically over. In fact, it's quite easy to just not get past his shields ever and straight up kill him, the fungular entertainment.
I mean, you gotta love a boss design that is realistic like this. Every other boss, it's like you have to get through layer and layer and layer and they get tougher. But the truth is that, in designing weapons, you design them for a purpose. And it's sort of like aircraft, right? Combat aircraft aren't layered and layered in defense. No, it can basically is designed to be defended by usually one, maybe two good systems, and that's it, right? An aircraft, most combat aircraft, or at least combat fighters, aren't going to be able to stand up to even a high-powered rifle round, but they rely on speed and stealth, and of course, elevation. So when you have characters like this that where the bosses, you break through their prime defense, then yeah, they're going to be a joke.
Way, featuring Sheldon Cooper from the Big Bong sorority. But if you do this, you're basically annihilating all enjoyment from orbit. I personally recommend standing there and just waiting for Jeff to present. So enjoy that second phase while you can, because this music is a gift from God.
Fucking invincible!
Oh yeah, you gotta love the fact that they chose to align the score, have a custom score actually, to align with the themes of each boss. I think that's actually pretty great. The name Sundowner just kills me inside, because sundowning is a term for when someone with Alzheimer's or another degenerative like neurological disease tends to have worse symptoms at night, and then they have better symptoms in the morning. It's called sundowning.
As bad shit as it looks.
Enemies just see it! I'm animated, I'm alive, my heart's beating, it's got hot blood going through it fast.
I appreciate the fact that he slightly muffled the Alex Jones quote so that he could come up through the floor.
Can you tell that's my favorite song? I upgrade Raiden's item as we board a helicopter being driven by Doctor. How did you get an aircraft? Oh, credit card debt. Of course. By the way, Raiden, do you remember that bank you sent to the past tense? It was like carving a pumpkin. Well, I think you missed one. I can't go to prison, Raiden. Why? Because you play Genshin? No, Raiden, I'm a Nazi. Well, time to kill myself.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about? There's so much Hearts of Iron to play. I'm gonna not see you in a second.
That was actually pretty good. Oh man, Hearts of Iron people. That's the only reason I haven't played that game. People are like, you should play Hearts of Iron. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be a Hearts of Iron player.
Not today, I guess. So, Doctor tries to kill Raiden anyways, and he responds by dividing the public. The hard way.
There's the anime girls. Is this even a Max0r video without anime girls?
So Raiden hits his head so badly that he lands in a different game. The volume is a little bit it's just slightly it's kind of loud. The graphics are a little different. Raiden heads to the gas station and uses the Zandatsu to cut through the environment dynamically. Yeah, that seems like how it works. This isn't even Metal Gear Rising anymore. I'm just playing Roblox games. Raiden survives the impact of a sedan when I was a child and gets utterly destroyed in Denver again, just like me on a Saturday night, and is forced.
I saw that, the Max Payne video, man. Dude, Max Payne 3 was so good. It's just a classic.
To play a previous level, but backwards. Thank you, level designer.
Is it even a Metal Gear Solid game if you don't have some surreal experiences, a surreal interlude? This is sort of part of it, right? This is a theme, and what Kojima usually wants in these is for the player to start to engage in some meta examination. It's his games, that's one of their biggest themes, is breaking the fourth wall, where he asks the player to become involved and the player has to triangulate themselves in the rest of the experience. So he's asking themselves, what are they doing playing a video game, right? What is the point of this? Am I getting messaging? Why do we play these video games, and how do the video games play back to us? Right, because making it integral to the story that Raiden has to play the level backwards is something that would be like bonus content, right?
Oh shit, a free bike. Don't worry, it's a rental. There are rumors that the Nords are attempting to capture the whole of Solstheim. Anyone looking for work should consider the Fighters Guild. I hear they're always looking for new recruits. Raiden, you ran over a child 9 miles back. What are you going to do? Good day. Oh, so now you decide to stop. I'm running late. Oh, don't worry, Raiden. The clown college is closer than you think. Yeah, it's right in—
Okay, it really bothers me that you're a highly advanced cyborg and you're riding a Harley. This is stupid for a bunch of reasons. One, Motorcycles are super dangerous. They just are. They actually were one of the biggest killers of soldiers, even during Iraq and Afghanistan. Soldiers were way more likely to be killed in a personal vehicle accident, and the most lethal of which is their stupid motorcycles. The Army took massive steps to make it both hard to ride a motorcycle and to do whatever they could to make it safe. Because again, they kept losing highly trained soldiers to dumb bike accidents. And the other thing is that, like, Harleys are the most annoying of all motorcycles. I'm just going to say it. They deliberately made them loud just to be an asshole.
In front of me. Kill yourself. Your ass will always be cringe, and my ass will always be thick. 497 North Parker Drive. Oh, good. You're getting more based by the day. But I live with my mother. Is this her house?
Is that Max0r's house?
In this duel between two equally matched swordsmen of various speeds, it's up to us to defeat the weakest Brazilian male. This guy's out here making...
Oh, man, when I lived in Brazil, one of the things that I was not prepared for was just how available bombas were, which, of course, in gym culture, and Brazilian gym culture is strong. That is steroids. It's the only place where there's a nutritional shop right next to the gym, and they had on display a lot of vials of clear liquid of unclear supplementary value. Though, again, I suspect that if you could get your hands on some hypodermic needles, you may find them to be pretty useful. That said, I definitely felt like a punk when I was there, because literally everybody is just like jacked, just six-pack abs, and I'm like, I'm a moron. I'm a scrawny dude who doesn't want to die of a heart attack.
in the rainforest look like a fucking joke. And the best part is, there's no bullshit in this fight. No minions, no shields, no monsoon telling me about fucking Among Us. It's just you, the sunset, and the soil. This is the best boss ever, holy shit. Raiden disarms Wham Slam Bam Sam, which causes him to lose his McFucking marbles, and this somehow makes the fight harder. I mean, he straight up punches you like he's in goddamn Yakuza. Hey Raiden, look at this cool bug I found. Oh Raiden, no need to flip out. Dude's got thunder thighs bigger than the power grid. Sam will test every single neuron in your corpus callosum with unrelenting and dangerous attacks, strong enough to burn a hole in my Adderall supply. It's not a drug.
I just want to know if Max0r really has... Sometimes he achieves a level of, like, intellectualness that makes me think that he may actually be some sort of, like, high-level medical professional or something.
A problem, it's a drug solution. And that is just phase one. God help you when he picks up that sword again.
I'm gonna get copyright claims. No! It'd be nice if I didn't, though. I mean, I appreciate that he finds this fight so sick that he's just playing clips from it. Oh, maybe this isn't.
Playtime's over.
Guess I don't have a choice. I challenge you to a debate. What the fuck? No. Dies of cringe. So Raiden goes to inspect his kill like a cat, only to realize that he has no cybernetic enhancement. This man dunked on Raiden harder than Kobe after he threw an AVA unit, and he did it by juicing. Raiden steals his Clifford the Big Red Sword with a 5-star gacha rarity and 33% crit rate. Raiden, you have a motorcycle. Why are you sprinting there?
Why don't we just relax and turn on the radio?
Okay, one of the things that sort of bothers me is that when we talk about the problems with powered armor is, well, the power. The armor is fine. Any of us can design small hydraulics and powered armor. The problem is that the power sourcing it is really, really hard to do. There's also some issues with sort of, what's the word I want? Like fine motor movements. But mostly the problem is the power sourcing these things, right? So if you're talking about moving a weight over a distance, you can calculate the exact amount of energy that takes. And so you know you have to get that much energy from some sort of source. And when you have the smaller the power armor, the harder it is to fuel it. That's why in like games like Fallout, power armor is sort of gee-whiz fueled by fusion, small fusion batteries. And if you could convert pure energy from matter, it would take a very small amount of matter to enhance your strength and power armor for hundreds of years, right? Even small amounts of plutonium sometimes are known to power, or, really in the Cold War, before we understood just how bad plutonium was, plutonium would be used to power, for example, lunar rovers, right? They could also be used to power some military sensors, right? Because they would just last forever. They were like a quasi-infinite power source. Of course, after a while, they realized that powering things with plutonium for military purposes was, one, a bad precedent, but two, pretty easily detected because they were constantly glowing hot.
Would you like ham?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's good. Damn, dog, give me some of that. Raiden McFucking breaks into NASA so he can go somewhere quickly. You see, the current president, George Bush, has made a horse race across America. That way, he can assemble all of the votes and activate the guns of the Patriot Act. But to understand what that means, we have to head to a previous game. It's Metal Gear Solid 4 again, and the Clinton Foundation controls the entire planet. The only thing standing in their way is the now unsolid Snake, because he's old. David.
Got it.
I want you to meet someone very important to me. His name is Joe Biden.
And to get hot, I got ramen.
I have kept
Actual Joe Biden dialogue. I mean, Max0r's dunking on him pretty hard,
alive.
but, I don't think he's got many fans on any side of the aisle at this point.
using the miracle of child sacrifice.
We choose truth over facts.
And I'm gonna choose death over life. Wow, that sure made everything easy to understand. Oh my god, it's my dad. Oh fuck up, I've returned with a puppy. Yeah, anyways, do you know where daddy can buy some cigarettes? Last time he got those,
Oh, I forgot. Jack did have a kid, didn't he?
you disappeared for 10 years. I know. So have you ever heard of NFT trading? No, what is that? Well, you start by buying a monkey. Can you feed the monkey? Nah, but you can sell it for a rocket or some shit. That's great, honey. I'll be right back. Now with our transportation acquired.
He's going to the moon? Dude, this is peak. This is just peak Metal Gear Solid. I'm gonna be honest with you.
We blast off into fucking space. Our goal is to reach the utopia of Pakistan and stop the evil empire of America from initiating yet another military incursion called
Still love the fact that Scout is considered the defining American.
Operation Tecumseh. Finally, I have tracked down the great Satan to his source.
They took Afghanistan, can't have shit in Detroit.
Now this cliff will make me a martyr. Fuck. Jock al-Radin goes to the base so as to convince the Boot Boys the error of their ways and appear on Indian news networks to justify nuclear conflict. Raiden, have you heard of the hit game Among Us?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna tell you. All right. There's always the risk reward to having troops violate someone else's sovereignty, right? Another country's sovereignty. Having troops there is generally considered an act of war. It's an act of invasion. Though, if they're feeling generous, they could call it an immigration violation, right? So it's about interpretation. And this is something important, I think, to understand about war generally, because there's been a lot of World War III hype. Listen, there's two causes of a war. There's the proximate cause and the real cause. And the real cause is often inevitable zero-sum power games, right? Two countries have to see an objective and realize that there is no way they can both have what they want. And whether that objective, it could be control of the Peloponnesian Peninsula, as in the case of one of the earliest documented wars, the Peloponnesian War, right, in 400 BC, or it can be control of the country of Afghanistan, right, in the most recent war. Congrats to the winners, the Taliban. But regardless, there's always going to be a larger meta war. And as a result of that, you always have to make sure that accidental wars don't happen, right? But every war needs to have some sort of inciting incident, a specific instance that creates the conditions or justifications for a conflict. And that's why you sometimes have these sort of silly things leading to a war. Just like World War I, people say, oh, it was an accidental war. But the truth is it wasn't. There was always going to be a conflict between the rising power of Germany and the established power of the UK and France. Germany had recently been unified, was growing in might, and it was inevitable that those two would fight. The truth is that just because you promise somebody something in a treaty doesn't mean jack. As I recall, Russia may have promised Ukraine that in exchange for giving up its weapons, Russia would never violate its sovereignty. LOL.
You need to vent, Raiden. I know it'll be hard to be sus.
You might notice something funny about this level. It's 3 rooms. The developers fucking gave up, so do I. Raiden plays the real game until he finds the cast of Ikari. Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state when nearly 14 million years ago, Raiden discovers his dog after being made into a Family Guy episode. No, I wanted to feed you that chocolate. Before a gigantic McFucking crab evolves from the goddamn soil like a 1,000-year-old cicada.
Wow, it literally is a giant crab. But it's not. It's based on what looks like maybe an arachnid, but it's got antenna. Listen, so it's like ant. It's like an ant.
What the fuck?
Well, if it isn't Sussy Jack.
Bro, are you high?
Let me check. Yes. High on American spirit. And there's nothing more American. And there's nothing more American than shooting a man in this Walmart of a world.
Yeah, this sounds like it's hard to know where parody ends and this serious stuff begins.
What is Walmart?
It's heaven, Raiden. Check the internet lately.
Raiden, hop on Twitter. You need to see this.
Fuck, I hate this website.
It's all fucking weeb shit, Raiden. It doesn't make any sense.
Twitter is trash.
They're being distracted with other nonsense.
These baboons don't even know they're at war with Pakistan.
This one's calling me a Redditor.
And that's just the beginning. E-girls, gotcha, memes, all just petty distractions so real men can get down to business.
Amogus.
And as you know, American imperialism is absolutely justified because we had a black president once. Before I fucking killed him.
That's a nice argument, Senator.
This is bananas.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
That's a great meme.
Imagine a world, Raiden, free of cancel culture, where no one can call me out for my outlandish claims. A world where I can say the N-word.
I mean, it's funny. This is the actual Republican Party platform at this point. It's like beyond parody. It's just all culture war trash. Zero actual vision for the country. In fact, in a lot of ways, I think both parties, in terms of their actions, appear to just be doing dumb culture war conflict. And it drives me absolutely fucking bananas. Frankly, at least Senator Armstrong, at least he's a politician who actually is like, America can go from this thing that it is to this fundamentally different thing, right? I give them credit for that instead of being like, no, America will be the same, but for the 3 people that are like, you know, male to female transgender swimmers, like we need to do something. It's like, guess what, dude? We don't, because it's 3 people, right? There's other bodies that can regulate these things. Like this is why do we elect politicians who just do dumb, petty, meaningless bullshit with no larger vision for anything? Like your job is to think about the country's problems, right? Let the that's why you have states and counties to regulate all this dumb, petty shit.
No.
Catch. I've got my own to debate online.
In this battle against Microsoft Excel, we are faced with a boss too large to be fun and are relegated to enduring his onslaught from the inside of the Forever Box. This battle is a classic case of wait for him to do anything, just like Congress. And like Congress, when he does do something, it usually hurts you. Fortunately, this...
Hey, look, Congress voted unanimously to do daylight savings time, but I thought it was impossible to get unanimity in Congress, right? Or is it possible that all Congress actually is working together and they just pre-agree on how the votes are going to go, right? That they all agree that all the Republicans are going to take their stand against this particular act, and that in order to ensure it doesn't pass, they're going to pick one bad guy Democrat, and that one bad guy Democrat is going to defect, and the Democrats will go, oh no, we're so powerless. Even though we outnumber this one person, 538 to 1 or whatever. Oh, if only we could do something, but we can't. Sorry, it doesn't pass. Right? One of the things, if you understand nothing else about American politics, understand the difference between legislation that will never pass, or that all the parties agree will never pass, and legislation that actually has a chance of passing, right? Legislation that will never pass is usually idealized legislation. This is legislation that's pie in the sky. Someone was like, they introduced legislation to make it a 32-hour work week. It's like, listen, does anybody really think that has a chance of passing? No. And so it's done to score political points. It's the equivalent of writing it down on a napkin, being like, I think Americans, we should cancel everyone's credit card debt. And then you write it down on a napkin and you hold it up, and people are like, oh, he says we should give, everyone should get all their credit card debt canceled. What a progressive guy. But then when the actual part where you do the canceling, the part where you take action, they all know that it's not going to go anywhere, right? Somebody buries it somewhere. And so you have to understand the difference between talk, which is cheap, and action, which is hard. And you don't see much action.
Music is excellent and fits one-to-one with All I Want for Christmas. I'm not joking, although for some reason Raiden can parry several tons of Crush Force. Maybe my sister could have done that against my stepdad. Raiden suplexes the giant lobster for the second time today. Then he yanks off his arm to have a sword fight with it. Every other game is now worse because they don't have this.
Check it out, Raiden. I just got vaccinated.
There's a lot of weird right-wing memes, and I can't tell if Max0r's serious or being ironic, or like both.
Oh god, he's hot.
Time to hit the gym.
I don't have muscle.
I don't know, Jack. Maybe your face could use some work.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. The next generation of divorced dads definitely getting filler. Like, definitely. Used to be just hit the gym, maybe a hair transplant, right? Like, that was the cosmetic surgery you'd get. Now it's going to be hair transplant plus filler, plus you get on juice. You get a hormone replacement, or you get your low testosterone diagnosed, right? Then you're 45 and you're just like killing it. Still got that beer gut though. Though actually, honestly, if you get on juice, dude, beer gut's gone. Get your diet on point, you'll be shredded.
Hope you can afford healthcare, Raiden, because the taxpayer can't.
It's funny because thousands of people die.
Don't fuck with this, Senator. What? Snap into a Slim Jim.
The cheering is part of the in-game dialogue. Yeah, it's meant to be pretty stupid and surreal, I think. This is just Kojima content.
没有女朋友。
Typical politician. All cock, but no cum.
What?
Land of opportunity, American dream. It's all bullshit. The success of a nation is determined by materialistic and socioeconomic factors. Read a fucking book.
The truth, then. Us politicians aren't so trustworthy. We'll steal, make shit up, even lie to our voters.
That's crazy.
I know it's very hard to believe, but that's just what the USA is all about, Jack. Not hiding our theft and murder, but embracing it. Whether it's votes, whether it's money, especially money. Fuck all these limp dick YouTubers and chicken shit Redditors. Fuck this 24/7 internet spew.
This is 90% or 99% of the real dialogue. And actually, thematically, it's identical to it.
Of Discord and VTuber bullshit! I'm gonna build a new future, Jack. One where we won't have to hide our stealing from anyone. And for that, I want you by my side.
Here's the funny thing, is that his actual speech involves like a return to worshiping strength over all else and punishing weakness. And he wears glasses. In fact, his sight is so bad, he can't even fight this ninja man who's never far away from him without his glasses. So, you know, this is my favorite politician. Really, he's like the politician who is just like, their dad is like a multimillionaire and they're like, I worked for everything I had. And you're like, listen, my man. No, you didn't. Like, you think daddy didn't help you out? Listen, all our parents pass along things to us, whether we wanted them to or not. Our genes, I joke, the dumb memes, the dumb, like, cultural things, right? It's, you know, I never had my mom taught me to always annihilate steak when I cook it, right? And it took me years to unlearn that meme. But they also pass along their environment, and they instill in us like so many different norms about how we respond to things. You notice, how many people hate their job and whose parents hated their job. And some parents just hate working and they'll never be happy. And they pass that on to their kids. Their kids watch it and embrace it. And it's tough to know where these things, end and begin.
To build a world truly free from the consequences of our actions.
But to sit there and embrace this stupid myth that you got nothing from your parents, that you worked for everything you had, it's just not true. And if somebody claims it, regardless of whether you like them or not, you should instantly be skeptical, like immediately.
Just like...
Because also it means they have no nuance. They are incapable of the nuanced level of thought required to be like, yes, you can work really hard, and you can get lucky, and you can have a bunch of advantages, and you can still fuck it all up.
the founding fathers intended. What do you say, Raiden? Why not try to say it? Just once.
I was wrong about you, Senator. You're not cringe.
Democrats and Republicans agreeing on which third world nation to vaporize. No. This is Democrats and Republicans agreeing to make sure no American can get health care without going bankrupt. Democrats and Republicans agreeing on funding more and more stealth fighters despite the fact that our only their only near peer adversary is apparently being thwarted by a bunch of Ukrainians with in-laws.
You're just fucking racist.
Pussy too.
What the fuck was that? God damn it! We're making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't fret over every egg.
I'm sorry, Senator, but this is my Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
It's the title of the game. No, wait. We gotta see all the memes from this. Pausing this video. You pausing this video to check all the memes versus YouTube playback. My dad coming home at 3 a.m. from the bar. Oh, shit. Home Depot workers trying to stop me from shitting in the display toilets. This is so stupid. Fruitless atheist arguments against the unstoppable tide of Islam. It's just so dumb. These are the dumbest series of memes. Cyberbullies after I turn off my computer. Okay, this is actually pretty good. McDonald's employees when Karen asked for more sweet and sour sauce. The 5'4" pedestrian on the street versus my 4,000-pound F-150. Okay, guys, this is a joke because everyone knows that if you're barely tall enough to be considered a man, that's only after that do you buy the 4,000-pound truck that you drive to and from your office job. The number of vanity trucks I have seen since moving to Texas that obviously have never hauled anything larger than a sofa, it just fills me with actually like seething rage because you're just so... Not because they're bad for the environment or because they're a tremendous waste of space and consume fuel and are more expensive for no reason, but just because you have to be so fucking stupid to have a vanity car. Like, it's a fucking car, dude. You know how many rich, like truly rich people drive fucking gangster ass cool guy cars? Zero. Zilch. Nada. Right? If you're actually rich, guess what? You don't want to fucking flash it to people. You want to look like a regular ass dude, right? People judges when he enters a dog pound. I don't even get that. Let's back it up. We missed a meme. Still on this. Strongest Dream fan versus weakest Max0r's subscriber. Me trying to edit this video.
You need to work on your fitness.
What?
Fitness, dick in your mouth. My blood is red, white, and blue, Jack. I wonder what color yours is.
Wait. Raiden. Brian Griffin. You can't give up yet. Think about every mentally deranged moron you fought up until this point. You've always had the strength to overcome. Whether it was violence in movies or sex on TV, I was always lucky there was a family guy. Even if your IQ was the room temperature of Alaska. You are the best Chia pet ever made. Sam put a fucking speaker in his sword.
That's right. I finally uploaded my consciousness into my gaming setup, right? And the reason you're cringe is not because you ain't skilled, but because you ain't ballin' on that stank-ass Windows 95 pewter.
Even in death, he's on crack.
Just this once, I'll lend you my setup so you can know what it's like to be a real gamer.
You're my little dog champ.
I've always said my sword was a tool of justice. Not a weapon, but a way to bring back those good old-fashioned values upon which we used to rely. But this isn't my sword.
Oh my god, it's got the RGB lighting. I hate RGB lighting. I hate it a lot. Okay.
It's a fucking mistake. Hey, what's up guys, Max0r here. Welcome to the final bot. You know, he can be this guy's a little, he's pretty hard. We're here after extensive cutscenes to finally teach America that violence is never a solution. It's a question, and the answer is yes.
Start praying, boy.
Senator. I love how that's the final boss.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's immense strength and talent for volcanic eruptions comes from his ability to switch between a culture vulture and Obama at will, channeling the power of both races to...
Yeah, this is actually true. You ever notice how important free speech is when defending your side? All of a sudden, senators are all about it, and then suddenly the principle of free speech doesn't apply because of the justification when it's speech that you don't like. That's why the only real Chads in the world are the ACLU, who actually show up and defend really controversial people who advocate for some crazy free speech. Some pretty horrific speech, but they just want to make sure that the principle remains true. And the reality is that, listen, man, in every generation, there are things that you're blind to, wrongs that you just don't perceive, and that you think are too controversial and too unacceptable to ever be welcome in polite society, right? Imagine if we decided that in the 1950s, we're like, that's it. I mean, we did. We decided in the 50s, we're like, government's going to regulate all of these ideas. It's going to prevent all of this bad media. You're not going to be allowed to talk about certain things that are deemed anti-American. You can't ever talk about homosexuality. You're never going to talk about, being trans, right? We had this absolute certainty about what was and was not moral, and it was paramount that the government regulate it. And nowadays we look back and we're like, wow, this was really regressive. And this is the danger you get in when you're like, no, we should have the government step in and regulate speech, is that somewhere in some facet, there's some other thing that you don't realize that you haven't even thought of yet. And the only way to move forward is to let those ideas and those advocates have a voice, right? Even if it's unacceptable.
To whoop your ass back to rope
in modern thought.
Blocks. But among his many racial talents, our buff buzzard is fast, has a great singing voice, and possesses forklift certification. When you die, it will be in accordance with OSHA regulations. But after spending enough time in the oven, our athletic aesthetic disarms Raiden and reports to his chiropractor for an adjustment. This guy beats up more biracial people than a police officer. Armstrong even has the power to receive the light of Allah, which bestows upon him miraculous healing wisdom. Needless to say, this fight is fantastic, combining and expanding on every skill we've acquired.
I don't think any of that's in lore.
On our long and arduous journey for a final battle that truly tests our mettle. This isn't even the first time Raiden has stabbed a politician to death, but if
I love that that's true.
I get my way, it won't be the fucking last.
Just remember, guys, if you're ever not sure about the moral character of your politician, the anti-vax politicians all invested or largely invested in pharmaceutical stocks right when they developed the vaccine. And the best traders in the world are either senators or their spouses. And if you want to make a difference, donate to lobbying entities that support causes you believe in. Because if you buy enough senators, or you and all your friends put your money together to buy enough senators, you too can make a difference. In fact, if you want to, do a bit of trolling, You should get all your friends together, incorporate a super PAC or lobbying firm, and then donate to some of your local like state senators and stuff, right? The key is to hit the max contribution limit or have a series of PACs each hit the max contribution limit if you got a little bit of money, but then see how much leverage you can get out of them. Demand meetings or insist they vote certain ways on arbitrary bills. Be like, I want you to vote no on the state bird. They're going to try to make it the wildfowl. I know every senator is going to support it, but I want you to be the lone dissenting no. Yeah, actually, it's illegal to do that. But what you should do is make it clear that your PAC is against waterfowls or whatever the state bird or state flower. And you're just like Citizens Against Waterfowls, and you just lobby one senator. And you're just like, we don't care how you vote on this bill. But Citizens Against Waterfowls is really disappointed, is incredibly disappointed about the waterfowl being the state bird. It's a pest. It smells bad. It poops everywhere. But anyway, we really appreciate it. Thanks so much for giving us this time of your day. And it was our honor to contribute to your election fund. Well, see you next year. Hopefully. Right? And, as long as you don't tell them how to vote, they'll get the message. And then see if you can actually create one lone dissent in some stupid arbitrary bill.
I'm starting to have a change of heart.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's why you're the best, Jack. You always wore my heart on your sleeve.
If I hear another goddamn pun.
If you kill me, Jack, you'll finally be free. Free to follow your heart.
Okay, that's it, buddy. And in other news, a United States senator tragically passed away this morning after a botched open heart surgery. Honey, can we please stop watching obituaries? You'll be on there next if you don't shut the fuck up. Oh shit, my BlackBerry. Good news, Jonathan. We've got a new job opening for you. Ah, that's great, Doc. Yeah, anyways, it's for a ninja cyborg. Ninja cyborg? Doesn't Raiden do that? Oh yes, Raiden, Well, the police might be after him for that vehicular manslaughter. Manslaughter, Doctor? I did that shit on purpose.
Oh, man, guys. That was great. That last part was a pun about, manslaughter is unintentional and murder is intentional. Anyway, guys, I hope you learned. Shout out to Remy for being a guest on this. Nice. Thanks, Remy. Anyway, guys, that was fun. I hope you learned that you shouldn't trust your politicians any further and you can throw them maybe even a little less. And other than that, oh yeah, let's shout out the patrons of Patreon. Those are guys that you could trust. I don't know. I don't know them personally. But they're still great. Thanks so much to them for supporting the channel. Yeah. Cole Foster, Command Unit, Caffeinated, Jakob Flavius, Chris, Dr. Shadowcop, Porter World, Time, Brendan, Armitage, Telruin, Astro Hunter. They get access to exclusive content and exclusive rooms on the Discord. I really appreciate everything, all their support. Also, you should come down, check out twitch.tv/combatvetpaul. Links are all in the description. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, including Team Fortress Tuesday, if you're into that. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.